in this.
Hello and welcome, everybody, as we are here today on 02/20/2020. What a day to think about. We were just talking about this earlier. I am here with Mercenary as my co-caster, and we're going to get this open and started with Ohio Division A, and I'm looking forward to seeing both of these two teams here.
I am too. It's definitely exciting. A clash of some Titans here. We are starting off, it's like with a Kate ban and a Set ban. Set ban definitely good for the top lane. He's still a strong top laner going forward.
And I mean, honestly, it's not surprising. And I'm a little interested to see that the Caitlyn was banned away. She is a selection here that allows us to see the long-ranged reduction again in the bot lane. It does have a really great poke potential. The Vladimir's actually going to come out right now as well for a ban. And I've seen some decent play with the Vladimir. There's a lot of brawliness, and it's been able to see not only in the top lane but also in the mid lane. And it's really surprising to see what this next one's going to be. And I'm hoping it's going to be something interesting. And it's actually going to be Ziggs, another one of those kind of unique bans coming out here.
Indeed, definitely some mid lane bans there with Vlad and the Ziggs, but it might be going up in the top lane with that Vlad from Shy, as she is known to play that up there. But we are just waiting here 10 more seconds till we get the other ban. The Ziggs ban's definitely good too, definitely helps stop that push in the middle, and a Jinx ban coming out there as well. Definitely a strong ADC going forward. Definitely fast. Definitely good. And this is just interesting. Interesting bans from both sides. No one's real mains getting taken out, but we're starting off with the Humble Gamer picking first here.
And I do like the last moment selection, the Ornn, a very typical pick that we've seen that's not only in the upper tier, but also just generally across the selection. Ornn having that, passive armor and magic resistance, the ability to manufacture an item within the lane, the hard crowd control once you reach 6 for a lovely team fight to really try and change the tides. So getting rid of that in this first ban pick is a really interesting focus to try and see how the top lane is going to adjust to that type of ban coming in here.
And we have a Jarvan Fork coming in for the jungle on our right side. And we also have an Ezreal, a great ADC pick, especially going in there. And we also have a Miss Fork pick as well. Definitely has gotten a lot better, a lot more playtime out here as the newer patches come by. Jarvan is definitely good for those team fights, and see with Misfortune with the ult. It's a really nice ult combo from the two of them, and it's definitely going to be interesting.
Well, to build on that, we're also going to see the Misfortune stripped away from Mitch Fortune on the side of Shawnee State Bears. I mean, let's be real. We made a comment about that earlier, so we didn't want to screw it up. So now we for sure know that we got to keep them organized from one team to the other. And again, like you said, Cleveland State coming out with the J4, having that hard engage, locking down individuals within the Cataclysm is going to be critical, looking to try and find those massive team fight opportunities and pick potential with the area effect by the Misfortune. But we're going to see now going into Shawnee State Bears selecting that Thresh play. I feel like this is a more safe bot lane play because a lot of the time you see potentially the Nautilus coming out. You have a Pike that's also been used a little bit more often, and Thresh can kind of mitigate both of those top picks and go in the matchup not feeling so underscalable throughout the laning phase.
Most definitely. Also a great amount of AD coming from that Ezreal Braves, and I'm very interested to see how the top lane will react. Not much. Thresh definitely fills that role. And we have Orianna coming from the mid side. Definitely a strong mid laner out here, and I'm interested to see who it's up against. Namely, because Orianna, especially with the ball and the ult, they have a full ult combo team here, and definitely damage coming out left and right. Could just be Orianna to Jarvan to Misfortune, and we're having the Azir ban. Definitely an interesting one.
I was going to say, yeah, right when I saw that, it is an interesting pick because Azir is in an interesting place right now. I feel that there could have been a lot better of an option. We've seen Syndra coming into the middle, having that long range, the crowd control, a LeBlanc as well, the control mage really being a significant selection in the mid lane like this, and Orianna, having that kind of more slower play at the start of the game for that late game opportunity. I'm surprised that we're not seeing, something like that a little bit more brought down in the picks and ban rates. But to switch it right over, we're going to get rid of that Nautilus like I made a comment about, to try and reduce the capabilities that bot lane from Cleveland has to compete against this Thresh play.
Nautilus definitely a strong support down there, and it looks like it looks like we're going with Cleveland just banning out the rest of mid entirely. Over on the other side doesn't have any mid picks yet, has a full bot lane and a jungle picked, and I think that a Azir pick definitely comes down to personal preference.
Yeah.
It's definitely just based on, do you want to face Azir? If the answer is no, get rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
And that Cassiopeia pick is definitely a good one too.
Well, and I mean, there's still some option, though. You've got Shawnee with, like I said, the Syndra, even potentially a Lissandra or a LeBlanc. It's really one of those kind of skill cap type styles that you're looking to play against, though. So you're really forcing Shawnee in a difficult spot with Cleveland, like you said, hyper-focusing that mid lane. And now you're going to see the blind pick coming out from Cleveland, what they're going to choose to go into this, and how Shawnee is going to respond with this. And it's actually going to be a Braum here to compete against the Thresh in the bot lane.
Including the Ezreal as well, especially with his, I'm pretty sure it's the EQ combo. I could be getting that wrong. It might be WQ. But that Braum will definitely mitigate that damage coming in from the opposing bot lane. It looks like that might be a Veigar in mid, which I don't think we've seen yet, the two of us.
No, we really haven't seen too much of it. But again, this is really trying to focus on the control and reducing the movement. Miss Fortune having such an accelerated pace in her normal movement speed, shutting down the Jarvan's hard engage. You lock down potentially, you know, the Orianna moving in close to try and get a combination with the ultimate. So having that cage from Veigar can really allow denial in the area, but also shut down some heavy movement, which I would not be surprised seeing from this fifth player from Cleveland selecting that it is going to be a high mobile champion to really bring into the synergy of how Jarvan and Miss Fortune is going to work. And it's actually looking like it's going to be a Poppy, though, from Shawnee to play for their last pick.
It looks like on the opposing team here, they're trying to get for a pick. Thresh lands a hook, you can toss up a Veigar cage, you can have Poppy dash in, pin them down, and make sure they can't escape. Though I'm not sure how Poppy being a count would definitely counter that Jarvan, but not really going to be countering any of the other champions here. And it looks like we might be getting the Rumble top here. Ooh, exciting.
I'm going to be honest, I have seen some recent Rumble play, and it is just unbelievable how much that ultimate can do in situational fights. And this is a combination that we've seen a lot of, though. Recently in the LEC, we saw a lot of synergy between the J4 with the Rumble, locking down a couple members, completely throwing down those rockets towards that central section, dealing significant amount of damage and just allowing the opponent to not be able to leave at all. So I'm really liking that pick here. And, you know, to be honest, I've not really seen the Rumble versus a Poppy matchup in the top lane, so I'm really curious to see how that's going to play out in the grand scale of things. The wave clear is extremely high when it comes to Rumble, especially when generating that energy charge of overheating, and seeing how that utility is going to maximize the potential shove against Poppy, or if Poppy's really going to look for those types of engages to force Rumble back early in this laning phase.
And that's great, but we will see you guys down on the field here in seconds.
Inside this fantasy, it seems so real to me. Synthetic ecstasy when our legs are open. Inside this fantasy, it seems so real to me. Synthetic ecstasy when our legs are open.
Hello and welcome everybody back from the break, and the action is now as we will see Shawnee State Bears against Cleveland State. And I already have said it, and I'll probably say it multiple times throughout the cast, this is going to be a fun one. We've got some interesting variation in the composition, little bit of uniqueness, and you were talking about it with me on, that brief break here. And I'm really interested to see how it's going to come out. We already see them looking for this potential first level 1 5-stack engage.
Ooh, it's definitely exciting. And both teams are waiting for it. They all know what's happening. Diving right now.
Going to get the early Bromstum, managing to take one. You do see Cleveland pressing forward to get a follow-up here as you have Shawnee having to bail out of it. The Graves managing to dash, but now a return opportunity, getting very low. Rex having to just completely retreat out of it. Humble so low, the Ignite comes out. No stun capable for the follow-up as you have Salerno going to run. Sorlando barely able to survive, but the flash, the heal, holds through. And it's still going to favor Cleveland State. And what a start to this match, my friend.
Most definitely. It looks like more sums have been wasted on this than I've ever seen any. We've casted before, but definitely that first kill onto Cleveland's jungler is definitely going to help a lot, especially in lane. In fact, when he even got back and got his second starting item, it looks like he got a hunt. He looks like a talisman there, and everyone stayed alive. Misfortune just barely holding out on that heal, especially because Ezreal wouldn't be land out that damage only with Q. And we had Orianna definitely trying to dive to get that kill and forcing that heal. And it's immense. I've never seen a full 5-stack. They both knew it was going to happen and they just prepped for it.
9 summoners spent in total. I guarantee you they're like, are we really going to try and ping all these timers for these? Because we're just going to fill the chat.
Oh,
That's literally what was going to happen.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Ooh, a little bit of damage getting off there between Poppy and Rumble, but it looks like they're just going to back off. And it's just exciting. We have a kill we have a kill on the jungler, which will definitely help him with his farming, definitely help him with fighting in the jungle there. And we have 2 assists on to Cleveland's bot lane. Doing a little bit of a Q landing there, aftershock going off, but it doesn't look like anyone's going to be taking any real damage that will be lasting.
And as we're taking a look at the top lane, I was making that comment of where the wave clear, I think, subtly favors Rumble here in the play, but you also just have Poppy focusing on the hard engage onto Rumble to try and focus back, you know, that aggression on the front to leave minions open. And that's a consistency here, but even now towards the river, you've got the aggression coming out by the Jarvan play. Cleveland wants to harass this, getting some vision, looking for the collapse, might actually try and go for this kill onto Shibby. The follow-up from the Orianna in the back line will survive, and now actually going to strip away this camp to slow the movement. There comes that aerial, though. The cage is available to try and keep them inside, but will be able to get out and retreat. But still, Poppy dropping down, getting low, needs the follow-up, needs some assistance by Shibby in the back, cannot survive through it. And here's an exchange 1-for-1 now in favor of Cleveland. 3-1 total in kills. And this has really just been on fire since the start of the game.
They were trying to dive to get some kills here, and Orianna's going to leave with that double kill on a bit of a bounty. Sure, Vigar might be getting a kill and do that AP raise, but it looks like mid will just end up favoring. Poppy definitely came down for that help, but the team just didn't arrive. It did not come for any support, and we have a little bit of a skirmish happening. Ooh, and that heavy damage. Ooh, a Q landing, and it looks like Misfortune's damage just going to chew out, especially Braum landing his Q stacks. And it's that was just a clean fight.
And you saw the Thresh look for a hook there to really try and maybe have the changeover on that engage, but Thresh was just too far low in health value to really survive through the amount of damage that Misfortune can pump out despite these early levels.
He was definitely trying to get that QE into tower just so he could turn around the fight and keep the pressure off, but I think he bit off more than he can chew, especially early levels. He's not as tanky yet. He needs a bit of time. He needs some more items, some time to grow, and we definitely have a little bit of engage coming down there from the Graves, a bit of pressure, but it looks like Jarvan's also down there, so nothing's going to happen. They're just going to force each other off. And, ooh, Jarvan be diving here.
I was going to say, there is some multiple pings coming out here by Okazaki to really try and harass this jungle of Shawnee, and just harassing it consistently to cause really just discomfort and concern from Shibby in the bot lane.
Their jungle's strong, their mid's strong, their spot's strong. They can definitely fight for this early dragon. They don't really have any pressure against them. Sure, it might be level, but you have 2 kills on the Orianna, a kill both on Misfortune and that Jarvan, and it's the amount of pressure that they have after those skirmishes there that will definitely turn it into their favor of getting that dragon. And it looks like they're still paying time to get towards that dragon because they have the pressure. In fact, Graves isn't even going to try to fight for it. He's just going to the top jungle to clear it out.
And the other part, too, to take note of is just from our stats that we see here, you're just getting Shibby to reach level 4, but Okazaki is already nearing that level 5, so it's already almost a level differential when it comes to the jungler because of that early kill and assist in the top region. But now, in the middle, you've got the roam from the bot lane, the follow-up going to get a nice flay to bring the Orianna out, forces the flash, and that's a good opportunity to try and look for a secondary follow-up engage. But in the top lane, still a lot of damage coming onto Humble. That equalizer comes out, dropped early, will not get the kill, and resets another portion of that top minion wave.
Talking about that top wave, Poppy definitely tried to get that damage, and especially because he was lacking all that strength. Doing a little bit of fight happening down here in the bot lane, and it looks like Jarvan's finally gonna get. Looks like Thresh is finally gonna get that hook on Jarvan and pull him into the tower. What he was aiming for, he might have took the kill, but that was definitely a strong play by their bot lane.
And honestly, you get a follow-up kill in the mid. You see the combination. You crowd control of the circle to prevent any sort of escape, gets the follow-up on the ult, and really allows more dominance to be in this mid lane. And now you're going to start seeing Shawnee play some catch-up here, finding these really great picks from the overextension coming out from Cleveland.
Vigar had ult. If he lands his full combo, you're most likely dead, especially on Orianna. She doesn't have that support from any of the teammates, especially when there's a skirmish a bot. And as soon as that cage lands, as soon as that damage comes in, it's over. If you're anywhere below 3/4 health, especially at this level between the two, it's just over for you.
And honestly, with how things have been playing out so far, Cleveland, I can see, is starting to really hesitate a little bit, and they're being more respectful of the play, not being as aggressive. I think acknowledging that they tried to take a few fights that were not maybe best in their favor. They got some early win at the start, but now it started to even out, and like you said, really starting to outplay, utilizing that combination from Dubstep here on the Thresh to bring them into the tower. But you have a rotation now from bot lane near the Dragon to take this early Ocean.
And while they might have been evening out the gold here, it's definitely gone into the favor of Cleveland here. And they still have that pressure. They might have lost to 3 kills, but they still have that pressure from the early game. They can just that dragon.
You've got a lot of pressure still in bot lane. You have the wave starting to still favor Shawnee here at the moment. They can start clearing these minions. Once the minions come out, you've got a nice engage here by Mitch, trying to really stack that runic passive. Ooh. But going in for an engage. Another Flay gonna bring up the Braum, but Rex manages to get the shield up to prevent as much damage from that tower shot. And Mitch still taking a significant amount of damage here in the pot lane, though.
Braum dives in, definitely protects from that QE, and he's just safe. And Rumble's down here.
I mean, honestly, with the fact that Rumble from Shy has the teleport, this is an opportunity to see if they can get an engage. But the fact is that there's still a heavy minion push. And meanwhile, top lane, you're going to see Humble get so much advantage out of this. A quad group from bot lane, Cleveland, looking for an engage. Equalizer coming out, looking for miss in the back force. Oh, Mitch gonna get completely dove on. And you still have Dubstep trying to survive the teleport in return by Poppy. And this 4-3 dive is actually gonna start favoring Shawnee. The stun from the mid lane. Jerbear gets the follow-up with Shibby. The stun was absolutely critical to get both of them stabilized for Shibby to get the follow-up damage.
They definitely tried for it, but unfortunately, Shawnee's team just kind of came back and everything came together. Sure, there was pressure on the top lane and Rumble went for it. They risked so much trying to get that kill, but it did not pan out. They are able to stop those group team fights, are able to stop those dives, as I was talking earlier. If Vigar is there, if Vigar can cage, even used his teleport to make sure that would happen. If he can land his cage, if he can stop this whole team fight happening, then they will win the fight in the end.
Meanwhile, as we take a look at top lane, you're going to see some return damage onto the turret, obtaining that first plate, the 120 extra gold, getting a lot of damage here. Shy needing to be very careful, though, as the return to the hop lane by Humble gets a chance to maybe engage. You've got J4 still residing in that top portion, and this is another thing to really focus on, is a lot of individuals and teams try and take that Rift Herald later after getting the Dragon, but if you can obtain it soon enough going into this 10-minute marker, it allows you to get that double opportunity of usage in these lanes to break down these turret plates. And you can already see Okazaki still focusing this counter jungle and stripping away another blue.
There might be counter jungle, but after that fight, it's definitely over 1k goal lead in the favor of Shawnee. Team fight got wrong. They got so many kills, so much farm, and Vigar is up 3-0. His AP stacks must be phenomenal at this point.
I mean, right now, sitting at 100, that is 100 extra ability for all of the stacks we see, just consistently keeping up, and even having, you know, with all of these kills, managing to stabilize in this CS count against the Orianna.
And a little bit of skirmish up there in top, but honestly, Rumble is strong enough, and it looks like Poppy's starting to mellow out, but the fight's not even top. They're both tanky, they're both beefy, and it's like a wet noodle fight. They're just slapping each other up there. Nothing's big happening. In bot lane, all the craziness is happening because you want that, either you want that Misfortune strong or you want that Ezreal strong, and they both can line up for great team fights.
as we rotate back down to get some vision here on the bot lane, still consistently pushing the wave forward. You've got an aggression coming out, but again, that's what you talked about with the Ezreal, the disengage, the ability to evade, along with Dubstep being there with the Lantern to try and allow this drawback despite the momentum and movement that's Sorlando is going to be able to have on this Mitch Fortune, with Jarvan still trying to focus in the jungle, slightly behind now. Shibby has done a great job of catching up from this jungle deficit that started at the fight, and now, like you said, with that bot lane turnaround, it's really allowed some acceleration in the aggression from Shibby on this Graves.
It was a bad fight in the beginning, and they were able to turn it around. And it looks like Rumble might be looking to dive in on that Vygar there in mid, as damage comes out, and Orianna is able to land us. And ult doesn't even, he only needs a little bit of Rumble's health there. It was close, but overall Orianna just had that extra bit of health from Rumble, and he's just gonna walk away. He's just gonna leave, go back to top. And it looks like that's going to be Rift for Shawnee as well. So both teams got something. One a strong kill for some shutdown gold, and then a Rift Herald for Shawnee for that pressure.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see where they're going to try and focus this Rift Herald. You have it towards the mid lane. I'm thinking Shibby's going to want to use that to try and break down some of these platings. But meanwhile, top lane, you're going to have Humble trying to look for an engage, trying to turn it back. Shy having to run and flee out of this, looking for the stun. Doesn't get it into the wall, but still a decent amount of damage. But under the turn, the circle, Shy manages to get the outplay despite it. The aggression from the Poppy on Humble just could not connect with the wall, allowing the stun and the follow-up, which is going to be an error here, allowing Shy to get a ton of value out of that fight.
And it looks like they're going to be dropping that Rift Herald mid, definitely to get that pressure there for Dragon as it comes up, but also to get that Vygar further ahead of the competition with stacks. And it's definitely a fight going on here. It looks like almost the entire team, bot team. The Misfortune ult landing into that circle. Braum coming out without the cage. Braum's definitely taking damage from the side from Ezreal, and he unfortunately falls. But Poppy is definitely getting down to Misfortune, and everything's turning around for Shawnee here. They might have lost to Draken, but they're not losing that fight. Orianna desperately trying to live, and unfortunately dropping that ult on herself, as Ezreal is going to leave with 2 extra kills. It's looking 10-7 here for Shawnee.
And the big part of that really helped that entire fight, despite the early kill, was by Jerbear. The aerial denial with the stun, locking down 2 members in the center of it, cannot move or evade out of the stun, just was sitting ducks for Mitch to unload damage along with Shibby after going back over the wall, despite Dubstep getting the Lantern to disengage out of the lost Smite trade. It still, like you said, went into Shawnee's favor, and what a well thought out play to follow up on that.
And Shawnee, using that pressure, just dive that Rumble under tower. Unfortunately, they don't want to keep up now that the rest of the team is here. But they had the pressure, and they used it. They lost the dragon, but they won the fight.
As we got a lot of resets here, a lot of gold to be spent, but you see a lot of ward clearing here from Cleveland to try and get that ward advantage. And to be honest, I have seen significantly more red wards coming out from Cleveland on just this consistent river control versus Shawnee, and despite the lack of warding with these control wards, it's still favoring Shawnee because they have a more favorable engage, because Cleveland has really forced the objective first and has a slight disadvantage of awareness.
Cleveland is trying to get that pressure so they can get the objective. They're so objective focused that even once they get the objective, they aren't ready for the team fight that follows. Sure, they might focus it, but honestly, in that dragon fight, if they had just stopped and pressured either the top side or the bottom side, it would definitely work in their favor. And it looks like they might be looking for a bit of pressure here. A 3-man diving onto that Thresh. He flashes to get out, bringing Ezreal with him, and it looks like everything's just going to work out fine. A good W from that Thresh there. Ezreal pulling in. Ults coming down from both sides. Oh, geez.
The cage trying to slow just a brief moment longer onto Rekt will survive through it, but that was a nice evasion, forcing the flash from Dub. And honestly, I still feel that that's a great win here from Shawnee, even though they did lose the Summoners.
Mitch, and it looks like Mitch and Dubstep definitely played strong in that. A little bit of fight skirmish happened. Vygar just barely holding on as a 3-man comes in, and Rumble's going to take that kill. I personally, I wasn't watching what was going on there in mid, but unfortunately, the 3-man, the teleport coming in for Rumble, he's just overwhelmed, and he has to pop that stopwatch, and he has to pray that he can get out. And it looks like in the end he did not, unfortunately.
Now with the mid lane tower lost, it's going to allow that potential roam factor for the Vigar, but still needing to be careful. But here comes a potential two-man gank, looking to chase after Omi Days, looking to regroup in the bot lane. Not going to risk this, but still that movement speed circle is going to aid as a regroup of potentially 4 in bot lane to push this tower against Cleveland would be very helpful.
We have a dragon timer of looks like a minute 40 here. They're just trying to look for that extra and a little bit of skirmish happening up there. Unfortunately, Rumble dodges all of the abilities, and even if he got hit, he's definitely looking at least a bit beefier here, especially that Leandri. He even has a little bit of a skirmish happening on Poppy. Unfortunately, she's getting caught out. Ult's wasted left and forth, but unfortunately, Poppy is not going to survive that skirmish. It looks like she just got caught out.
Yeah, I don't think that Poppy Humble realized that there was the sweeper to come out and give some vision. Now with the box going to come out from the Threshblade, Dub trying to do as much as possible to get some mitigation as Shibby's going to have to bail out of this, using the ult to disengage as well. Mitch, though, looking for a follow-up, manages to get one, trying to collapse here onto Rekt. Will not go much further. The mana is low, but the engage is there, gets the disengage, moving out. Nice follow-up here, getting the proc onto Orlando, but will not be able to force back these minions. Shibby trying to generate some help here to hold on to this turret despite the plates being gone, and really will be able to hold this team back.
Cleveland is definitely just looking for that pressure. Even saw Orianna there. You know, just even she died, they got the pressure. They want that tower. They want more objectives. They want more. Give them more. And even with the deaths happening left and right, it went 1 for 1 down there. But Cleveland is just trying to get as much pressure away from Shawnee here, especially with this strong gold lead going in Shawnee's favor.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that there is such a lead right now, it's going to be very interesting to see how the opposing team is going to be able to handle that type of a lead. And as we start to transition into this mid game, we're going to have the next dragon coming up. Cleveland has already been able to obtain 2, but now this is a position where Shawnee can start to change the tides. Looks for a hook, cannot manage to get Okazaki, and will look for a fallback here. And Humble needing to be careful to not get jumped on.
It looks like he just wants to jump on them instead. Definitely getting flash and getting that misfortune.
Oh my goodness, the Cataclysm jumping in the backside, almost getting taken down. The follow-up there by Mitch, but a regroup with a flash from Shy, as most of the team from Shawnee has been deleted on the low ground. A 3 versus 1 as Shibby has to bail. Mitch cannot survive, and the chase ensues with Shy forcing back the remaining sole member of Shawnee, with the rest of the team from Cleveland claiming this third Drake.
These team fights have just been seeming to go in the way of Shawnee, but as I talked before, all that Cleveland needs to do is get a good team fight, and they definitely did. Sure, Poppy went in there, but you got rid of their front line, and so their back line's just completely open for the Jarvan to come in and ult and get a misfortune ult, as she could just dodge past Poppy, as she just tried to survive as well. She realized she went too far, tried to get away, and things just fell apart. Cleveland got a good team fight, and that gets them the Drake, and that's one step closer to that Cloud Soul.
I mean, the fact that the J4 from Okazaki got the Cataclysm onto 2 members in the back, preventing them from moving closer and following up on the engage that Humble had with the Poppy, I think is really what changed it. You had Humble get one with a nice solid stun and look for the engage, but the fact that there were 2 members still in the back from Shawnee, unable to even engage in the fight and separate this out, Shibby was alone on the bottom half and really could not do enough damage with those 3 members from Cleveland collapsing, especially with the Orianna and the movement speed and the significant amount of output and damage.
It definitely feels like there was a bit of communication error, especially with Humble. The team, you saw the rest of the team cowering back, but Poppy wasn't scared. She was sitting in that pixel brush in the river. She wanted to go in. She wanted that fight to get that dragon, but unfortunately, just a lack of coordination and a coordination from Cleveland here definitely going in, and a little bit of a skirmish happening for Vigar. But unfortunately, even with the damage coming on Misfortune, Vigar's not going to survive. So communication from Cleveland, as I've been saying, a good team fight, 3 people diving in, they're going to get a kill, and it looks like they're going to force down this mid tower, but maybe not. Without that wave and with them, it looks like it's just going to be Graves, and the rest of the team might have some time to reset.
The biggest part of that was you had Rekt able to complete the combination to get the stun onto the Vigar, despite that the circle was there to get the stun onto Okazaki. The melee range was just enough to get the final kill, and now you're going to see Sorlando looking for a follow-up here with the J4. The shield is up for the slow. Humble going to get locked down. Okazaki with a follow-up here from the ultimate, going to be greatly used. That damage just melting the health value of Humble, and this is now heavily starting to favor Cleveland, despite the the gold lead that Shawnee had as these kills really start flowing in for Cleveland and their dive.
It looks like Cleveland is finally starting to listen to maybe what if Kindred's saying, not one without the other. You don't see them going out alone to get these solo kills to get to try to scare them off. It's always 2 of them together, 3 of them together. They're working together for those teams. A little bit of a sad B there.
I was just going to comment on that. I mean, come on, you must be loving it, Mercenary Bees. I mean, you got to cry.
I got that cry. I got that little emote there. I love that B emote so much.
Meanwhile, as we've got a back here coming out from the Misfortune, Sorlando looking to try and finish and complete the item, has the pickaxe to follow up, won't be able to. The BF sword and pickaxe giving some significant boost in the AD going into this consistent fight, as the Essence Reaver has been completed from some time ago. Getting a lot of control wards again. This entire team having 5 stacked up. You've got 6 on the return for Shawnee, because that Baron is going to be critical to focus on, as it has just become active 2 minutes prior.
And while you've been seeing these team fights go in the way of Cleveland, and things seem to be working out in Cleveland's favor, that gold lead is still in favor, just slightly in Shawnee, especially with those early fights, even with the Dragons, even with the good team fights. Shawnee still has 3 towers to 1. They still have over 1k gold lead stacking up on them, and they still have the pressure, so it might feel like it's a bit in Cleveland's favor, but it's still anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, meanwhile, top lane, you're going to try and get a teleport out. Won't be able to do so. The back going to be stopped as Humble resets, forcing a bit of time here away. As we've got a lot of engagement here coming out by Jerbear with this Vigar being near that dragon. It's got a minute still to come out, but just trying to get some poke damage here, trying to hopefully whittle down the health values before the Drake comes up. And again, this is where these ward placements are going to be critical. A lot already out from Cleveland here.
And it looks like that Cleveland is definitely going to control a bit of that Baron, a bit of that Dragon Pit and the river. And Shawnee just has to play back. They know they have that pressure, even though they still have a strong gold lead on themselves. If Cleveland coordinates, if they can't get one of those picks, then Cleveland can just chew them out. But if they can get a pick somewhere, anywhere, it's going to work out. And it looks like Misfortune's just going to shove that bot wave and get that tower there, as we're just trying to fight for this dragon here.
I mean, honestly, the awareness needs to be in favor of Shawnee at this moment. They know that the Rumble is backing right now because of that high vision ward and the force back coming out from Humble. It's going to be a 5 versus 3 at the current moment because Oriana's near that middle tower. If there's a time to go in on this, it needs to be now. Dub going to engage it, managing to get the hook onto the Braum. Here comes the Fisher in the back, trying to get the stun onto Mitch, being able to at least get some damage, but here is still a ton to follow up as Mitch dives forward. Now, 5 versus 4, getting some halt. Equalizer to try and sever the team. Not going to be able to do so. Hook into the stun, doesn't able to get out. Shibby with a 4-man pull into the center, forces the Zonya onto Jerbear. The turnaround is available as Dub moves forward, gets the play, the turnaround, an entire ace as only Jerbear goes down in the fight and rotates for their first dragon.
Shawnee got that pick, and it worked in their favor. They got the dragon, they stopped that soul, and it looks like they might be trying to force up either towards that mid tower or even to Baron here. They're strong, they're going for it. That whole team is down, minus just that Braum just coming back up, and nothing's stopping them. Again, they got that pick. Cleveland wasn't playing to their strength of a team fight. They had to clear out to get those minions off that mid tower, and it was just overall well played by that Thresh landing a hook, and everything works out. It looks like they might be just grabbing this Baron, even though Braum is here for a bit of trying to stop them. But as a TP comes in here from Vigar, it looks like we have J4 finally showing up, another TP coming in. It might be a fight here.
Oh, going in for the Cataclysm, almost getting the stun and kill onto the Baron. Coming up shy, a worthy effort, but it doesn't matter. You've got Shawnee now with the Dragon claimed, getting that additional movement speed along with the cooldown reduction on ultimate. You have the Baron to follow up. The respawns will be quickly here to get back to lane. And at this point, Cleveland is really going to have to watch out where the focus is to give these super minions some pushing potential.
Most definitely, we have Rumble down there cleaning up some bot tower minions, and it's just, they had the strength, and J4 definitely tried. It was definitely a worthy effort, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to grab that Graves, and Graves was just able to get the smite, and everything worked out. He focused to try to get that QE and then, sorry, EQ, and then ultimate, but he wasn't able to get that smite out to try to contest for it.
A lot of pressure mid, wanting to focus this turret. You've got now Omi days near Okazaki, trying to clear that red, but it's going to be a reconvene towards the mid lane. Again, you've got Shy having to force a back, trying to apply pressure all the while. You've only got a 5 versus 4 in this mid lane. The super minions are pushing. You're looking for this third turret now just before the inhibitor, and a stun's going to come out. There might be some follow-up. Going to force the Zonias, looking for the kill with on direct as a knockback comes out by Humble. Equalizer going to most likely be used here. Does fall off. There's the stun. Huge follow-up. Maybe going to get wrecked as well with Shy in the back having to bail. Huge opportunity of follow-up from Jerbear as well as the heal from the support play regains a majority to keep this pressure in mid.
Cleveland is trying Orion with that ult there. They're trying to stop this snowball that has started, and it doesn't look like, and they're going to be forcing for tower. Missing 2 members, 3-man strong. It's all or nothing going on here.
Oh, the J4 engage will be stopped. The stun is there. Okazaki can't look for an opportunity coming in with the Cataclysm. Is there enough damage to follow up as you've got the flames on the front side from the Rumble play on Shy? Not going to do enough. Damage coming out here onto the side of Cleveland that it cannot be mitigated. Shawnee State will get this push, managing to get the ace, following up before the Misfortune ultimates, but it's not going to matter. No way to clear those minions away as Shawnee State takes the game over Cleveland.
That was just a strong fight. They had the snowball and they kept it going. They didn't want to reset. They're like, we're focusing that mid tower and we're shutting it down. And we're back here looking at these damage charts. That Ezreal definitely landing some fix up there. But that Ezreal definitely landing, definitely going stronger. And just that strong damage from Ezreal, trying to land all that damage, and it's great. It's going strong. It's going great. And it looks like we have a bit of a technical difficulty here. Luckily, I'm still here. You know, your one and only mercenary. But we're looking at the damage charts here, especially from that Ezreal landing all those crits. And as I was saying just before we cut to the damage charts, we had that steamroll happening from Shawnee, and they just kept it going. Everything went just fine for them. They got their pick, and they were able to just keep rolling out. As I said before, both teams are strong, and everything went just in Shawnee's favor in the end. And Rumble definitely looking at some damage that he definitely applied, especially with that ult. And Ezreal definitely landing a lot of those damage, a lot of the combo that Ezreal's known for. I don't know it. I'm not an ADC main, unfortunately. But unfortunately, that's going to be the end of that game. But we will be back here in a little bit, bringing you our next game from Illinois. Nonetheless, some A teams going at each other. We have some JG Take SMITE versus Slew Esports. Definitely an exciting one. I hope you guys stay for the rest of what's coming up, and I'm definitely excited to stay here. But as we go on to our next game, and before we cut out to break, make sure to follow us on all of our social media. And if you want to get involved, make sure to go to GGLeagues.com to see how you can join a team in your local state or town. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you here in just a little bit.
Hype!
Woke up screaming again for the 100th time. These details I can't escape. Be with me tonight, and I couldn't turn down like a moth to a flame, drawing her more closer than I can take. Crying my name, crying like you care. Closer than I can take. Crying my name, crying like you care. Who I am, a sinking feeling again. I'm so ashamed. Stop thinking you won't be blamed. It wasn't all my fault, but I could see it in her eyes, like a blade to my throat, coming even closer than I can take. Crying my name, crying like you care. Closer than I can take. Crying my name, crying like you care. Who I am. Back to my old ways tonight. This has gone too far. I feel now that you need to go. Calling me again. You have pushed too hard. I know now that you need to go. Closer than I can take. Crying my name, crying it like you know. Closer than I can take. Crying my name, crying it like you care. Closer than I can take. Crying my name, crying it like you care. Closer than I can take. Crying my name, crying it like you care. Who I am.
But it's too late now. I remember you and me, and how careless we could
Yeah.
be.
All day and all night, we'd stay up, it felt so right. We were so young. Waiting to hear your
Hello and welcome back, everybody, as we get another match underway. I am your caster, Rich Red, here with Mercenary. Sorry, I looked at your Discord name for a second, and I was like, wait a second. I was going to say bees because we talked about bees, and then I didn't say bees, so we're just going to leave it alone. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the Illinois Division A. We have swapped from Ohio now to Illinois, the land where it is the Windy City, as we get these two teams, Jungle takes SMITE versus SLU Esports. And we're going to see some decent bans coming out here already from this GG League. It will be a Pike early from Jungle takes SMITE, along with the Nautilus, with SLU leading with the Jarvan.
Oh, we have a little bit ADC ban then from Ezreal. We've seen some strong Ezreal here and there. He's definitely one of the top laners, and he's definitely feeling good, especially. No real buffs, but he's just feeling good lately, as people are saying.
Well, I mean, there is a little bit of an adjustment to it. The fact that the mana grows increase to 50 from 42 gives a little bit more sustainability in addition to the attack speed growth going going from 1.5 to 2.5. It's very, very minimal, but I still think it's a reasonable margin that allows adaptation and adjustment to the play. And I think that you can feel it in your gameplay, which is why I think Ezreal's really started to be a little bit more of a threat here, and honestly bringing in one of the few heavily mobile ADC picks in that bot lane.
Most definitely. It looks like JG is going to be taking away that Yasuo from Jer Bear 2.0, who apparently just traveled from Ohio to meet us here.
It's a lovely scene when you've got somebody able to realm warp across the planet itself. Not going to see a rise here. If we did, that would be even more ironic. But
Oh, yeah.
we've got the Ornn coming out here. We saw it banned the match prior. Ornn being a very relevant and consistent pick in the top lane. It just has so much crowd control capability, the sustainability, and just honest brute force, with a counter looking to potentially be that Fiora, which we haven't seen too much, but a good matchup against us. And Nunu, again, not really seeing too much of it in that jungle played by SLU.
Nunu, definitely one of Zaga's mains here. He has plenty of games on it, and it's definitely a good team fighting potential too. We have the Xayah coming out for JG here, as well as the Echo, and I'm questioning if we're going to see that Echo maybe jungle or possibly mid. It definitely works for both.
Yes, indeed. As we are now looking to see, I'm wondering what that final pick is before this next ban, or the correction, the next ban comes out. Indeed. And honestly, there's the hover over for the Braum. We saw some interesting play with it, combination between the two. I'd actually, if one of those two were going to come out, I'd like to see the Thresh again, and I'm calling it.
Hey, what do you know? You got the Thresh again. Definitely a strong pick for the bot lane. Unfortunately, we do not know who the ADC they're going to be pairing up with there. But it looks like we're going to be getting a possibly top, mid, and ADC picks here. And the Rakan ban coming from... Ooh, coming from SLU, definitely assuming that's going to be the matchup there. And it looks like Syndra's going to be banning out for that mid lane as well. Definitely a strong pusher. Well, pusher is probably the wrong term. Definitely a strong mage user, able to shove the waves as fast as she can. And with some easy combos, it's just great damage on that tower.
Yeah, and to be honest, I kind of see SLU getting rid of a lot of those high engagement picks for team fights. You've got the Jarvan gone, no Cataclysm. You've got the Rakan out of the fight, no flash lift up for a serious knockup or team follow up. So there's an opportunity there to really negate that type of opportunity. You have the Cassiopeia coming out that will reside in that mid lane, having a lot of push potential. Also, late game scaling to really compete against whatever the mid lane is going to be here. Coming out from jungle takes Smite.
That Cassiopeia, unfortunately, might be a flex. It could be going to the bot lane. Definitely, it'd be an interesting match about Thresh and Cass. A bit of a flex pick there for whatever the opposing team here is going. It looks like we're going to be getting that Morgana as a support. Definitely a good combo, landing that Q and then landing Xayah Feathers as well, keeping them stunned in place for the damage to come out. Ooh, and it looks like we're going to be hovering that Cassid in there. Definitely a strong opponent for any mage players out there, silencing them and just taking them out. Ooh, but we might have a bit of a flop here. Might be going to that. Whew, I am talking too fast today.
No, you're fine. I'm honestly feeling like I'm watching the LEC and the LCS right now as the players constantly just say, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And it's going to be Kassadin, to be honest here. I can't say that I've seen Kassadin in some time. It is, like you said, a really interesting pick coming out, trying to utilize it to compete against the Cassiopeia. You've got the Misfortune going to be selected here as well from SLU. Really going to have a lot of presence in the bot lane. It wasn't able to come to fruition in the match that we did just see earlier from Ohio Division A. But with both of these compositions, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the scaling happens from that mid to the late game, because the early game is pretty decently slow for both of these teams at the start.
It definitely seems the way. I'm kind of hoping Nunu here gets rid of that cleanse. He's scaring me there with that ghost and cleanse up there. Maybe he's that confident. Maybe he thinks he can just get out. He doesn't need any smite for those jungle camps.
I mean, you know, We'll go to a brief break to allow that decision to be made. And like you said, we've got these few seconds to go. Hasn't seen the change. Could be a extremely risky pick. But like I said, we'll go to a brief break, allow these individuals to get ready for this matchup, and we'll see you for the action in just a moment, friends.
Let's see, it all works out.
As we've got some clear here, again, one of the biggest things we like to notice too is the pressure coming out from the Cassiopeia. It's a really great opportunity if you can remove those melee minions first to allow the wave to shove. It gives you a lot more poke potential, which you're going to see Jerbear try to take advantage here, forcing back, not allowing that CS count to generate as quickly by JG take SMITE in the mid lane. But meanwhile, top, there's still some even trades here. Again, Leaf going to play it very carefully, as most lanes are really just not going in too hard for the dive.
And it doesn't look like Fiora is going to be getting these pokes here, but she lands the level 2, forcing out the flash. Double flash happens. Fiora gets free. Looks like she's going to get her first kill in top lane. First blood at a wonderful 2 minutes and 30 seconds here.
I mean, that was a little bit surprising. I didn't think that Leaf was going to stick around as long as they did. Kept themselves too far forward, but there's an opportunity to engage after. Fiora is there, being very careful, though, not to get outmatched. And that early first blood is going to be very critical to help maintain that top lane.
Just as I said, you might feel tanky, but you're not tanky level 1. Fiora can definitely look for those early engages, and it happened before. She's not even scared. She's still going for that damage, even though she's low on health. It looks like Nunu's
with the
different
Nunu.
too.
Oh, gonna get the stun. Is there a follow-up on the damage? Getting the area of effect. Leaf gonna get very low. Does go down again, and this snowball top, and I don't mean that for irony purposes, is going to get a lot of value here.
And Fiora's super confident, and Orange should have been worried there, either tried to engage or waiting, because Nunu was just gonna show up. He's like, oh, you're gonna stay, we're feeling good, we're feeling strong, well, might as well just kind of land another kill, and some early tower plates too. Ooh, and Echo is coming down here, maybe looking for a bit of an engage, but showing his hand a bit early. Looks like SLU, geez, they're gonna be forcing themselves back a bit, and it looks like there's not gonna be any engage here.
Potential counter jungle going to come out. Zaga managing to get some early pick potential onto these wolves, stripping it away since there is vision on Blue Blaze in the bot looking for a gank. So this is a free steal in the jungle on this top side as you get a reset, looking for the blue, not going to find it with that snowball being generated and accelerated as a TP from Fiora comes to the top along with potentially the regroup in Nunu. But you have this hesitation for pushing forward coming out by Lee Sin, knowing that they're already 2 kills down.
And it's just a strong wave. They're 2 kills down. That top lane is looking powerful, and you're probably gonna want to avoid that. Start looking towards bot and mid, but nothing's coming out. They're definitely getting that early pressure. Looks like they're gonna start clearing out for that early Scuttle Crab there. Bye-bye, Scuttle. Some sweet, sweet treats for Nunu there. And it's just kind of the pressure's going in the way of SLU.
The nom-noms for the new news. That's exactly what's happening here. Like you said, the double scuttle allows a lot more vision advantage for SLU. Again, that top lane going to be heavily in favor of Zaire right now because Leaf is just going to be consistently forced back. There's no ability to find an engager, especially at the fact that Zaire is nearing this level 6 and Lee is still trying to play catch-up.
Unfortunately, Ornn got picked off early, and now he has to play far back against this Fiora because she's strong now. She's up 2 kills. She even has that, I forget that item, the hammer. It looks like a bit of a dive there, but unfortunately Ornn's damage is output. But Echo's coming in for the cleanup, and Fiora might be getting away here. The damage coming out, the repos coming out as well, and it looks like everyone's going to get away scot-free. No summoners used.
Yeah, honestly, the fact that the parry was there to mitigate the damage wasn't going to cause too much problem here, as you do see still some engagement, as all the while the jungle, known being top lane, Zaga is going to go for the dragon with the assistance of Proby, and still just trying to harass. You've got the Morgana near from Angie to try and harass, get some vision. I don't think it's going to be enough to really lock this down and steal that dragon away, as Proby looks for the grab, not going to find it. And as the health value depletes, Zaga going to force the smite out here and take this first dragon.
There was no pressure. They showed their hand top lane, so Zaga's like, all right, you get a pressure, my strongest laner, then I'm just going to go ahead and take this dragon from you. And Morgana, while trying to clear that up, had no support from the ADC, just trying to fight against this misfortune down here in the bot lane, and everything's going the way of SLU, especially with that bit of a steamroll early game.
And now, as you do see, still a lot of pressure on the front line from the bot lane. The spell shield is there to help, and that's going to be a great utility in this bot lane to try and prevent the hooks and the crowd control coming out from Proby. But still a lot of aerial denial. You've got the rotation here in mid lane that you're going to see some decent coverage trying to break it. But now a flash play coming in, looking for the Lancer, and I think a little bit of a late communication there. Could have been a lot more fluid in a motion to take down Zester. And now you have Blue looking to try and dive in. The play is there. Angie really just going to bait it out as the Echo comes in, gets the damage. Keleth is going to have to run, getting some kill in the backside. Can't manage to evade it as Proby goes down with a stun on the front side from Angie. And that's going to be a double in the bot lane to near the evening out of not only the gold, but the scoring as well.
Honestly, that whole fight there, it was just communication. Thresh landed something, he's like, all right, let's do this. And Misfortune just kind of was staring up at the clouds there and noticed just too late. Echo was able to capitalize on late, and it looks like he's going to be looking for some damage on Nunu there. Unfortunately, it looks like Cass is coming down instead, and Echo's going to be forced into their jungle here.
Ooh, trying to jump over, but the ultimate comes out. You've got the Gaze able to lock down for a brief moment, but Blue Blaze having the movement speed to evade out of this. But no, there's going to be a huge spike of damage. The Fangs coming through by Jerbear and starts to get themselves on the board and hopefully can take advantage of this as that tier continues to climb.
They had that a little bit of a dive coming here. I was just about to say they were a bit strong here, but it looks like Cassin's going to be forced out too. We're going to force the flash from Cassiopeia, and Thresh trying to land that hook and that W. Cassin is diving in, trying to get the extra kill, and he's going to get it. Unfortunately, it's going to be for his life.
And Flash is the mastery! Oh my!
He knew what he wanted. He got his treat. He didn't care at that point. He's like, I'm gonna die happy. I got even in kills and I'm gonna die happy, but it looks like Nunu's happy to oblige, getting his first kill, rocking 0 deaths, and especially with his team going strong in the top lane, and Thresh coming down after getting a nice little assist there in the bot lane, going to help out from any bot lane pressure.
Ultimate coming out, though, by Leaf on the high ground, going to be able to parry it. The damage now coming through by the Fiora, looking to melt the health value. Meanwhile, the jungle still look to fight in the river, trying to turn it around. It's going to be Zeri able to survive. The ultimate will get the follow-up here onto Blue Blaze. The kill potential here for SLU, and the follow-up has been on point. And even in bot lane, despite the even exchange, this is still going to be an opportunity for Proby to escape. Not going to lose out in the advantages. This is still going to be a 7-4 kill count with SLU leading the way and a 3K gold lead.
SLU realizes that they can shove these waves. They can capitalize on the damage, and everything's working in favor. And JG is not playing back. They're trying to defend, and Fiora, you saw, dives in. She's still staying. She's still confident. And she's like, hey, I'm strong. You're weak. Unfortunately, while you have that extra little shop with you, it's not going to help you when you're dead and back in your normal shop. And definitely with the Nunu getting that damage and the ult just bursting that Echo, unfortunately unable to use his own ultimate there. And being level 5, it looks like just Zaga was able to play it well, and Echo just needs to stay back and farm and clean up, because you see that strong farm lead going towards Nunu there, definitely over almost 30 up. And it's Echo needs to just play it safe. Stop looking for kills. Get yourself a bit stronger. Get that ultimate so you can be looking for strong fights. And we have a little bit of a dive here.
Mitigation coming out from the defensive shield usage by Angie, but all in top lane. You've got Leaf trying to evade Zaga. The follow-up now coming out by Zeri will get an absolute burst and inflow of damage for the 2-1, and Ornn in this top lane. Leaf is just having one struggle of a game, and the Rift Herald is actually going to be forced as well because the pick came out, no teleport is available, and those plates are ready for some action. In the mid lane, going to get ganked though here.
Well, strong damage. Echo taking some damage and backing up. The Ignite still burning him down. He's still trying to go in, but unfortunately he dies for his hubris. Jerbear just barely getting out, just barely trying to get out there. A little bit of hook going, and we're trying to get more fights going on. It looks like Kazan's going to be left alive in the mid lane. And unfortunately, Echo wasting his ult and still trying to go in. He should have just left. He should have played it strong. And top lane, they're going to keep getting stronger, going on a rampage 4-0. It's just the damage numbers are looking in SLU's favor. The gold's looking. The first tower along with the rift, they're just cleaning up shop, and it looks like JG's just gonna have to take this one safe as we're getting a bit of a dive here going in the bot lane. Heals coming out. Silence is not gonna help them in the end, and they're gonna get away nice and safe.
Yeah, honestly, I think that movement from the mid lane down to the bot was far too late. You saw that Proby along here with the DPS Kelleth retreating back just behind the minions. Can't get the engage that would have been more advantageous for them. But now trying to get some vision here. Blue Blaze looking to take this dragon quickly. Does manage to do so. Infernal Drink is going to be grabbed. The adjustment to the map, though, is going to be a Wind Drake. So there is going to be some movement adjustments here through the jungle, which is actually, I feel, going to go in favor of SLU, especially with the new plays that we've been seeing.
And Orin is going to have to get back under his tower. He's trying to compete with his own, but he's down for deaths, especially against that Cass who's stronger than him both in farm and in kills, and he has to play it safe. He can defend, but for how long is we don't know, and it doesn't even look like Cass is going to be going for it. He's going to be forced to dash away once again.
Well, look at the bot lane. You're going to get a flank coming out by Zaga, managing to get onto Morgan. Shield doesn't come out soon enough to block the stun. You've got the follow-up there with Proby. The jungle support plays in the bot have been so well synergized along with top lane. This new play has really outmatched the pace of Blue Blaze's Echo.
Definitely indeed, and I think with that dragon play earlier, they realized, oh, Nune's just going to stay top lane, we'll just take this under his nose. After they took that, Nune's like, you know what, I think bot needs some love. And he came down there and he got them some blood there, and definitely going to work out in their favor. That gold lead's still going in the way of SLU, still having that first tower, even with a little bit of cleanup from that dragon there. Unfortunately, they're still going to have to play it safe, and it looks like Echo's trying to go onto this Thresh here, the double dive, but Nunu's coming in with a snowball from the side. Definitely an ult from Cassiopeia, trying to get that Cassidy from the side. Echo's still getting caught out, getting hit with all those snowballs. Zaya's definitely coming in, trying to get that damage. Unfortunately, she's going to get caught too. She's able to hit that blast plant, get over the wall. Everyone's safe, but Miss Fortune's going for the ult, forcing the flash and the heal. It looks like Nunu's trying to go in for another kill there, getting some extra blood.
Meanwhile, top lane, you've got some fight. The bot lane consistently trying to survive through the drop down 4 versus 3 under the tower. Gets the pick. Now going to still be a 3 versus 4. Blue Blaze so low underneath this tower. Cannot risk it. Still, the health values on the side of SLU are low themselves, so they don't want to go too hard into this. They've taken the win of that small skirmish in the bot lane and will look to now regroup. Get some objective opportunity here as the top lane is still going to be pressed to this second outer turret.
And Fiora is definitely looking for some strength there. And both teams are just bloodthirsty that they don't realize, hey, we're all really low. We should probably back off. It's almost like a handshake there down there. They're just shaking hands like, all right, we're going to back off, play it safe. Fiora's just going to clean up that dragon. And Orin's trying to stop him with a little bit of Cassidy showing up too.
Yeah, the dive coming in from the Cassiopeia, Cassidy, I did it, is going to be able to now try and get the follow-up. The stun going to be there. The flash over the wall. Can the phase shift come out to get the follow-up kill? But the Thresh Lantern is there for the save! Oh, what a great positioning and regroup knowing that that assistance is there. But I can definitely tell you that Zaire was not feeling too safe as that chase ensued.
Oh yeah, Fiora definitely got caught up by 2 different people, getting silenced, getting knocked up, and Thresh just happened to be at the right place at the right time, tossing him that lantern, because if you didn't have that lantern, that Q cooldown would have been too much. Fiora and Cassidy were able to get on top of her and take her out. And just good placement. We have a little bit of a fight happening here in bot lane.
Oh, the shield not going to deflect that much incoming damage. Zester having to bail out while it looks for a follow-up underneath the turret. Still in the mid lane. Zaga going to dive in, looking for the kill onto Sylar, managing to do so. Zester on the front, still trying to cause some harass as the teleport comes in from the high ground. Lee Sin looking to get that opportunity of managing to take down one, hoping to try and scale themselves back up, but it's still going to be an assist here, as it's still a deficit for the top lane, but some decent itemization, heavy armor build to support it, while mid lane Blue Blaze is just trying to keep this turret alive.
Once again, all these fights just seem to be going in SLU. They know their strength, they know their power, and they're just willing to shove it. But unfortunately, JG's not respecting them and getting themselves killed in the process. And it's just a cleanup fight. And by the way, every time you say Leaf Sin, I always think you're saying Lee Sin. I'm like, where? Where is he?
I know. It's the emphasis on the F needs to be critical to try and allow that to work.
Oh yeah.
As I messed up Cassidy and Cassiopeia, the K and the C really got me, friends.
I was talking about it earlier. I'm like, it's gonna be 2 different Casses, one of the K, one of the C. Someone's gonna mess up. You took it, you took that little bit mess up, but it looks like Fiora's going to be diving, especially with the Cassiopeia and the Thresh definitely in tow. But Kassadin's going to be making it out.
Thresh being there for a great retreat once again. Huge plays, and that's why I said earlier that I really like the Thresh selection going into this. The now nice turret takedown with a decent amount of health still available from this Rift Herald before it transitions into the Baron. On the front line, though, you do have Leaf Sin now having to bail out of it. Too much damage coming out from the Cassiopeia. And now a great ultimate. Gay's going to get some value, but the follow-up is here. The stun coming out in the back line by Leaf, trying to get an opportunity to turn this fight as Angie presses forward. The stun getting two, looking for the kill. Manages to do so as Proby has to fall back. Barely able to survive as the ADC and Fiora are trying to do what they can, but Fiora does go down. Ultimate in the bush, going to acknowledge that it's there. Moving into it, but huge damage onto Zester. Is there a follow-up? It's not going to be enough. The ultimate from Miss Fortune will not be avenging anybody's death, with SLU finally being outmatched in a team fight as you have Zaga bail out for this dragon to be stripped away, with Jungle taking Smite, definitely using it here.
In all honesty, this is just kind of a matter of respect. They didn't respect that Orin's Rage for the dash onto Tower Step, getting that double knockup. And sure, the shutdown gold went onto the shutdown gold from that cast went onto Xayah, which is even going to be stronger for them. And it's going to be looking out to round out this gold difference here. Unfortunately, the gold difference still favors in SLU here with a tower difference of 4 as they're able to get that one Cloud Drake out of the way. That team fight was just good planning. They got a pick and they steamrolled with it. And SLU thinking, oh, we're still strong. They definitely have the damage, but they just didn't respect it. They didn't get the picks they were able to, and they didn't respect the damage output from GG here.
I mean, honestly, I can guarantee you the viewers right now that are really voting for SLU, whenever anything good happens, all you hear on the channel is "Sue" for the chant. Hoping to see if they can continue. They've got, again, at just over 4K gold lead. Leaf needing to be careful. This constant applied pressure by the Fiora, forcing the disengage. Now going to strip away those mini Krugs here, and these are actually a lot more useful to be taken away. The distribution in gold is no longer solely relying in the large Krug and has been subtly distributed to the smaller ones. So being able to strip away those few minor Krugs is actually very helpful to the Fiora play and taking it away from Leaf.
And definitely Orin's feeling a bit stronger here, a bit more together. Of course, he's still scared of Fiora. He doesn't even have a finished item, but he has that Balmy Cinder, and he has that Bramble Vest, which definitely hurts Fiora enough. Even with the lifesteal here, he's still feeling strong, and we have a 3-man coming down to get that Fiora.
Ultimate now going to come out, managing to dodge it with the parry. Beautifully timed on the stun, and that is going to be an easy escape in bot lane, while there is a huge regroup towards the top, not only prepping for the Baron, but also looking for this Kassadin.
They're definitely trying for him. Unfortunately, he's going to get back over with that ultimate there, and they might be able to force down that tower as soon as their minion wave shows up. And it's SLU's definitely trying to use their advantage, and they're still trying to hunt for kills. Luckily, JG has learned and heard this story before. They know what's going on. They're going to play it safe. And as they lose, as they get number 5, JG is definitely still trying to play it safe, but they're going to be having to look for that bit of aggression, especially with that 5K gold lead in SLU's favor.
The other part that's going to be really important here is you're going to have Zaire looking for an engage on the bot lane to try and keep Leaf occupied. The teleport is available for Zaire, but not for Leaf. So if there's enough applied pressure and you look for a team fight near the Baron, it's going to end up being SLU with this 5-stack versus 4. But now an out-of-place Jerbear looking to try and get some assistance, forces out that barrier to try and survive as Angie gets low. There's a pick, even exchange. 5 now going to be 4 versus 4 here. And Vision comes out from Jungle, takes Smite, and looking for an engage.
And it definitely looks like, especially with the clean up there, it's still looking in SLU's favor, but it's just a 3v3. Orin's definitely trying to come up to clear out this Baron, but apparently both teams have to force each other off, especially after that little bit of skirmish there. Sure, it's definitely still looking in SLU's favor, but they don't want to take any unnecessary risks, especially after that last big team fight.
Now, as we've got some resets here, the Baron is active. There is multiple wards. You can see 2 controls and 3 basic vision wards here. As Jungle takes Smite, tries to claim as much of the jungle as they can, still having Leaf trying to catch up in the bot lane, staying similar to the CS count despite rotating lanes here. But again, that 4-kill lead for the Fiora play by Zaire is going to be so important to carry into these fights, and still really harassing in this bot lane. And at least Leaf does have this teleport coming up for when this Baron engage occurs.
And it looks like they're going to be trending off, especially with Cassina coming out. Unfortunately, he has to jump away with a little bit of an ult there. It's not going to be much of a problem for him, but it's just strength and numbers that Orin needs to stay up for the team fight. And Cassina's like, sure, I can switch out. We have a pretty good chunk of damage if you're trying to stay tank, but it looks like they're just going to switch back because Orin's like, I can deal with it. And a little bit of a skirmish happening there, trying to get that echo, trying to get that jungle and that smite out of the way so they can just force this. But as the timer goes down, 45 seconds towards that dragon, it's a really split look of what do you want, that dragon or that Baron?
And now as the follow-up comes out by Zaga, looking for the knock-up on to Blue Blaze, gets the damage out, but still a fight might ensue here on the bot near that red buff, trying to be stripped away. You've got Blue Blaze evading out of it as a rotation back now. SLU trying to take down this Baron quick enough as the collapse comes in. You have Zaire on the bot lane, not yet committing that teleport, with an engage coming in very soon here as the Echo looks for an opportunity.
And it looks like we have the Orin ult coming in, landing on top. Down. We have Zaga landing the ult. We have MF also landing out, trying to clear out that wave, but unfortunately it's not enough. Fiora is coming in with that teleport, definitely getting on the Cassidy in there. Morgana is not going to be making it out. It's going 2-2-1 in kills here. We got another kill on that Fiora, looking for a strong double kill. Nunu's going to be cleaning up that Echo, and they're going to get the Baron. A definite good attempt by JG here, but unfortunately it's not strong enough, especially Fiora landing in that teleport.
Ooh, and the ace, and that's when you hear it, fam. It's going to be Sloo! Claiming the fight with the Baron as well, pushing the super minions forward, and this is going to be a huge shove from SLU to take this inhibitor, and might even look with the respawn timers to try and take a base turret, but they are going to play more reserve. They're going to look back, going for a fight, and will now force this top lane turret.
Fiora is acting not too scared here, but as Echo's cooldown set resets, Orin's resets, and Zaya's going to reset here shortly, they have to force it off. They got that bit, and they're like, we'll just go for Dragon instead. We have a strong pick. We have the lead, so we'll just get a Cloud Drake, tying it up at 2-2 Dragons here. But still, that tower lead is going in SLU's favor. But I think one good team fight from JG, if they're able to get that kill, they can definitely even up that tower difference in mid.
And honestly, with how much has shifted in this fight, the last two specifically, it's only further put Jungle, or JG, take Smite, to a deficit that they are having extremely difficult chances to try and recover from this. It is still possible, but it is really going to have to be strategic fights taken. And the biggest part is trying to get enough warding onto this map to try and find a favorable engage. And it's going to need Leaf to find a huge ultimate stun with that Ram.
And hey man, you weren't wrong with the name. I think JG Take Smite is just telling the jungler Take Smite. A nice, helpful reminder for the team name here.
I mean, at this point in the game client, they force you and notify you to take it when you get the jungle roll. So, I mean, you can't forget any further than that.
Hey man, we were looking beforehand at Zaga definitely hovering over that cleanse. And I was even a bit nervous. Like, is he really that cocky? He's not going to take Smite? But no. No, he looked at me and he was like, right, I need to take that Smite there. And he took it instead.
And in the bot lane, you've got some aggression onto the turret, trying to get at you with Leaf having a nice stun. But again, there is not enough damage to do anything to harass Zaire back on that Fiora, as top lane still gets aggressed. This Baron buff still alive and forcing these super minions to these turrets and gaining so much value on these objectives.
Slew is definitely trying to force in jungle. I'm gonna say jungle. No, it's JG. Trying to force in JG here. Definitely keeping them, trapping them inside their base. And as soon as one of these timers is up, we have Dragon in 3 minutes and we have Baron in 3 minutes. They could just either go for it. But we have a little bit of skirmish happening here, and Orn's going to miss the ult. Unfortunately, not able to get that Cassiopeia, as we have a little bit of skirmish happening top here, going for that tower, going into Slew's favor here. We have been ult fresh, definitely trying to get a kill. We have a flash coming from Cass and trying to get out. Morgana's going to have to use that Zonya's. We have Zaga coming in the back. Alt force from Xayah, and unfortunately, Thresh is going to get that Morgana here, as Slew just forces themselves down. They're losing health. Orin's here tanking it up, but Fiora's coming in from the back line, trying to get that extra damage as she's trying to force it in. She's losing more health. Gotta scare that Echo away. Cassin's not scared of Fiora at all. going in here, going
Managing
for
to
the kill.
get it too. The shutdown is critical, but you've got Zaga on the front looking for a follow-up. Manages to get the kill. Large health value by Leaf now that the game continues on with a Cassiopeia by Jerbear in the back surviving, getting a lot of damage to push Leaf back, looking to try and get into the base. The stutter step by Zaga to exert dominance from the Nunu as a fallback has to occur. Jerbear getting low. There's the slow, managing to get the crown control and take it back. This is at least an opportunity here for a recovery from JG Takes Smite, but there is still a long way to go as Zaga tucks tail and runs, hopefully for a chance to survive through this.
Ooh, bit of an odd flash and back there. Getting that heal in. Zaga is not too scared as Sylvian's a bit pissed off about that stutter step. It's just kind of smacking each other together, but MF is in the way, landing that damage, that ult.
Gets it!
Getting that kill in the end. Zaga's not scared. He's got his team. Sylvian's shoving up without any team members nearby.
I mean, what a turnaround there. You saw the bait for the ultimate. The Morgana shield was there, but that is not going to prevent any sort of ultimate damage. And I mean, this is going to be interesting now. You've got the Dragon in a minute, a Baron in a minute and 20. There's a lot of pressure in each lane. The inhibitors are down, and SLU is in a great position to get one last huge shove onto this no turret Nexus in a few moments.
SLU knows that their base is, that JG's base is entirely open, and they're just trying to force it down. They're like, if you guys want to go for an objective, you're gonna lose. If you guys stay in your base, you're gonna lose. It's really just, if there's a good team fight, a good pick by either side, that could be the game. That could be the winning stance. If SLU lands anything or just forces this down, that's it for JG. But if JG can land a good fight, they can get either that Baron or get that Dragon.
The only opportunity is if you have SLU rotate back to try and compete for an objective. You've got the teleport, but now going in for the engage. This is an opportunity to try and take it. Zaga getting low, the stun on the side, wanting to follow up here onto Proby. Gets the stun, looking for the kill on the back line as the Fiora tries to parry the incoming damage, manages to do so and evades away. Proby for that play, knocking Zester closer, but the damage comes through. Proby gonna go down as Zaga gets the exchange onto Blue. Falling back, the snowball rising to be knocked in the backside as Leaf has to bail out of it. The Nexus is open and free to farm, but Leaf wants to try and look for the engage in the back line as there is an opportunity. Zester getting the damage, not gonna have enough. The Cassiopeia still melting members of JG Takes Smite on the front as Leaf goes in for the stun. The last remaining member, the super minions on the front side from the inhibitors going down, getting enough damages. That's going to be it. You have SLU Esports claiming the victory, taking the Nexus, and not allowing JG to take Smite and take a victory either.
That was some game. That was a great game. Wow.
I mean, it was so back and forth, but in the grand scale of things, as we can take a look at the numbers here, despite the amount of output from the Xayah play, the accumulation of the team overall from the Fiora shutting down the Ornn in top lane truly superseded any sort of opportunity. It was always JG Takes Smite undercutting themselves after those first initial picks. And it was so difficult for their team to try and get back into an advantageous and beneficial fight that SLU just continued to be flawless and took advantage of everything possible.
Honestly, I would give that MVP to Nunu there. He knew what he was doing. Even with that strong force in top lane from those early 4 kills, especially with Nunu's help, he knew what was going on. He was coming in for the assist, especially with that 5-0 and 13, ending up deathless in this game that was just full of kills from both sides. Zaga knew what he was doing. He was there trying to get those kills for their team, as a jungler does, and he was having a little bit of fun there too, especially with the stutter step, especially with that little bit of a skirmish there at the end, with MF taking that kill. Honestly, well played, Zaga. That's all I can say at this point.
I would 100% agree with you. The positional advantage, knowing the pace of not only the fights and engagements, but also really reading the map to know where you had Blue Blaze on this Echo to counter jungle, to steal away, maximize your pathing, and really achieve such a great outcome. Like you said, a 5-0, emphasis on the 0 here, ladies and gentlemen, and a 13 assists just coming in clutch. surpassing all, mind you, in gold as well, with the accumulation here with such a great stack of abilities and also the itemization. Just overall MVP, I would say, as well, goes to Zaga. But still, worthy fights coming out here, despite how far Leaf got back on the top lane. Really did a lot of work in that mid lane, especially with the bot lane, to try and counter the aggression and just flow of intake for Jerbear, along with Proby. Proby doing a great job too, just all around. But yes, MVP to Zaga.
Most definitely. And Leafson, even though he was down, he went down with a 0, 6, and 7 there. Even when he was down, he was still making good plays, especially that ult, especially those dives for the team fights that went in the way of JG there. And overall, it was a good fight put up by JG, but SLU just had that power. They had the coordination from Zaga. They had the coordination of that bot lane too, especially with MF and Thresh there, and Jerbear coming all the way out here from Ohio. Definitely cleaning up there in the mid lane, especially with the damage from Cassiopeia.
Well, I mean, the one part you made a comment about Leaf Sin specifically when they started to be able to have a little bit more tankiness towards the end of it, it's really coming down to the passive and the ability to upgrade those primary items. You already see both defensively going to be used for the Ornn. There was able to be one as well onto Sylvan, in addition to that fourth item with the Zhonya's onto Angie. So there was a lot, even though it may not look like the itemizations have been overwhelmingly advanced, that really did help out, especially with Zester on the IE. But as we can go diving into this even more, we're going to tell you that it has been an awesome opportunity to be casting and bringing this to you. Again, that was the Illinois Division A between JG, Tank Smite, and SLU. SLU claiming victory here with a very, very good scoring. I have been your caster, Rich Rad, along here with Mercenary. And for those of you that have been tuning in, watching, and enjoying, do not forget to take the time for everyone here that's tuning in tonight and future games. You should definitely always look to the social media that we have for GG Leagues. We've got Instagram, Twitter, Facebook for you to follow at GG Leagues, again, to receive all the latest GG Leagues news and information, as we will have more action to come. There are so many divisions with so many teams and players that are involved in this. Thanking seriously to our production in the background, keeping that action live and in front of you to make this actually happen. And again, it has been a pleasure casting with you, my friend. Mercenary, you can take it for the closing moment.
Thank you very much. I'm just having a great time casting with you, Rich. If you guys want to join in, as we were saying before, all these different teams in all these different states, if you want to join in, go to ggleagues.com and look for a team in your state now. We still have open teams every season, and we're down to see more players here, and we are willing to commentate and cast to see your epic plays here on the GG Leagues Twitch here. And that's all we have for you guys tonight. Thank you for tuning in this week of GG Leagues. We'll be back on Tuesday with some more games. You guys have a great night.